That's what grandkids are for.
Yeah.
Was your meeting good, Mike?
It's actually still going on.
Oh, okay.
I snuck out. It's possible after this meeting, when I sneak back in, they may still be at it.
Can you go first on the commissioner report? I think that would help.
I can. In fact, I plan to do that. Thank you. Yeah, I've got
Yeah, that
my
would be
little
good.
note. I got my notes here in front of me. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I have 11 a.m. and I will call this Seneca County Commissioners meeting to order for Thursday, March 18th, 2021. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Commissioner Paradiso, you got a prayer for us this morning?
Yes, Commissioner Schuff offered, so.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Tyler?
Bow your head. Say a prayer. Dear Lord, please help guide us as we discuss personnel, property, finances, and safety of the county and the residents here that reside in Seneca County. Please help give us your wisdom. Help us to see the light, to see what is in the best interest of our people, and to try to make the best decisions as possible. Please help us to do your will and to help each other and to work together. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Very nice. Okay. So roll call, Nikki, please.
Commissioner Kirschner,
Here.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Here.
and Commissioner Schuff.
Here.
Perfect. Stacy, we need to get to the bid opening first for the Eden Township farmland.
Sure. I have 4. Okay, the first bid amount, Nikki, how many acres were there again?
147.1 plus or minus.
Okay, this is from a Josh Nagel, and it's $195 an acre. The second one is from a Doug Fredericks, McCutcheonsville. Place a bid of $256.50 an acre. Next one is from a Barry Potts, and his bid is for $200 an acre. And the fourth bid I have is from Wise Farms, and their bid is $237 per acre.
Okay, Stacy, I know, the engineer reviews a number of things that we do. Who actually reviews this for the best offer?
Yeah, we usually talk to Soil and Water and, Mark and get their input on these.
Okay. Okay, who currently holds that lease?
It's a Fred Schoen or Shane out of Republic area.
Okay, but he did not rebid, obviously, here, huh?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Now, there's some significant difference in some of these bids, right? So,
Yeah.
And this is for 3 years, right?
Yes, this one will be.
This is a 3-year bid. Okay.
Okay, Stacy, since you started, why don't you continue on with your administrator's report?
Okay, I have a couple things. I just figured I'd give you an update on some sales tax. I can find my spreadsheet here. Share, okay. We got our sales tax numbers for March, which will be representing kind of December, January, and even part of February. You can see at $978,215.70. I just put some percentages underneath. The first line is just the percentage based on the projected revenue by budget commission. So, you know, we were 8% collected in January, 8% collected in February, 10% collected in March based on that estimate. As you can see, the estimate is a little over 10 million, and that's over both are projected, obviously, from 19 and 20. So then I also wanted to just show a comparison just of the difference between 19 and now, because 2020, it's just hard to keep that as a comparison. You know, numbers stayed fairly steady last year, but I'd rather compare it to at least 2019. So just kind of wanted to show you where we were at approximately compared to where we were at in 2019.
So just as a clarification for those that may, like to do math based on sales, et cetera, this isn't total sales tax for the county. This is our portion from the
Correct.
state, for the county, right? So
That is correct.
can you give me, because I forgot, about what percentage of the sales tax do we get back?
We have a 1% and a 0.5%.
Okay, so we get 1.5% sales tax back based on everything that was ability to apply sales tax to.
Yep, and I have them broke down by the 1% and 5%, because that's how, not 5%, 0.5% is how we get it reported.
Okay, very good. Very good. I just wanted to clarify that this isn't the total amount of sales tax generated by Seneca County. This is the amount that we get back from the state.
Right.
Okay. All right, thanks.
The other comment I have or question, I have received 7 applicants for the HR position. The last ad went into the newspaper, like not last weekend, but the weekend before. So I figured I'd give it a couple extra weeks. It's still listed out on social media, but I haven't had a new one since the beginning of this week. I'd kind of like to get some input on maybe an interview committee. I had reached out to Sandusky County and their HR had offered to help, but I would like some of your thoughts. You don't have to give it to me today, but just would like to start going through the process and kind of think of some people that could be sitting in on that interview process with me. I think that this is an important decision, and so that's what I'm looking to do soon. So.
Do you have anyone in mind that you would like to include? I mean, other than the HR person from Sandusky County?
I definitely just want an HR, somebody that's been in HR for a while, just to, that's not my role. So some of the questions can be geared differently to the HR position on what I would.
We did have the person from Heidelberg College who was previously, I think, Erie County HR person, who gave us some assistance in the past.
Yep.
Or at least gave us some advice. I think that she would be great if she would agree.
Okay. I can call
and then I would, yes.
I'm sorry, she took a job in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
And she'll be leaving the end of the month. That's Margaret Rudolph. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I would suggest somebody from private industry HR, maybe somebody National Machinery.
Mm-hmm.
A big company that has a solid human resource department.
Okay.
I mean, not only National, but there are other companies, Webster and Laminate Technologies. There's a number of folks who have HR departments.
Okay.
And then, somebody that you can bounce things off of as well. Maybe one of the electeds. that might have an interest in being part of this. You know, I know that, for example, Kathy Oliver has went through this process for her group out there as have an HR person. Maybe that would be a good source of input.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I mean, don't hesitate to have as many people as you wish on the committee so that you get a comfort level with the questions.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on anybody in particular that you might be thinking
Yeah.
of. So that'll help.
I do think, you know, when you do get down to the final 2 or 3, that at least one of the commissioners should sit in on those interviews. But, you know, sorting it down to 2 or 3, I think is, you know, that would be that committee's job. There's no sense in getting too involved too early.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, anybody? Tyler, any suggestions? Is that
I agree with a lot of what Mike said, having somebody from the private sector in there for the HR interviews, but I mean, nothing above and beyond what was already said.
okay? As a side note, I think we heard from, you know, Mike Ditto, and we've been getting a ton of emails about the stimulus package that was passed. And as you know, we are slotted to get 10.7 million. We are just currently just waiting on guidance from the Treasury on how that money will be allowable to expend, see what kind of restrictions we have. You know, people are, you know, assuming, guessing, but, you know, I'd like to wait till we, you know, get accurate guidance from the Treasury. But I thought, you know, and I think Mike had mentioned this before, we should do some sort of a work session, because we do have a lot of projects and a lot of things in the works, and that might qualify depending on what the Treasury allows. But I think we should work on some sort of a work session, you know, allow maybe some of the elected officials that, you know, maybe have some project, maybe have some ideas, just to sit down and go through. And that way we can prioritize. Just, you know, think about that. We don't have the guidance from the Treasury yet, but something I thought about doing, because, you know, I mean, I'm hearing a lot from different departments, you know, what are we going to do with this money? And is this going to be possible? Is this going to be possible? How about this? You know, we've got capital projects that could be done. You know, we had talked about even just with our carryover, putting some money into our budget stabilization. I've been getting quite a few emails from my administrators around the state, and some of their questions are asking about, you know, doing a percentage hazard pay based on 2020 payroll, doing it across the board as a hazard pay just because of COVID. They've been asking if any other counties are doing some sort of a vaccination incentive, whether that be, you know, something monetary, whether that be, you know, allowing somebody to take off, have an extra personal day, or, you know, using, you know, doing like an administrative leave just to go get the shots. So other counties are looking at different things like that. And then also it's been kind of mentioned that with this round, there doesn't appear to be anything allocated for townships. You know, so that might be a suggestion. You know, the villages will be getting some, the cities will be getting some, and obviously the county. But as far as I can tell, and I talked to Mike Ditto about it, there doesn't seem to be anything specifically in the current documentation that we got for the township. So that's just something I wanted to bring up, you know, not make a decision today, but just some thoughts.
I think it's an excellent idea to have the work session. I have some comments on that
Okay.
in my remarks, and you know, I had also had conversations with Mike Ditto and some other commissioners about it. So I'll speak to that as well. So it's a great segue.
Yep, that's all I got.
That's all you got.
Yep.
Okay. So under commission reports, I guess I'll go first. The biggest looming item, or the ones that's still fresh, is the fact that we did have a conversation with the Bascom Ambulance District last night. All three of us were in attendance. It was an open meeting. By the way, I don't know if we need to approve any minutes from that meeting or if we need to take any action as it relates to that meeting. If we do, let's put it on the agenda for next week, because I know we are prepared for that.
Yep, we'll
But
do that.
having said that, we did receive a couple of page document from Bascom regarding how they would like to move forward with their ambulance district. We had some individual conversations with folks in that area, and then we had some joint conversations last night. We talked in depth with our EMS director, Ken. We have had some comments from our medical director. So they have asked us to give them a response regarding their proposal. I will, at this point, yield to Commissioner Paradiso in case he has any response or he would like to suggest any action, or to Tyler to do the same. I've got a couple other things after that, though.
Okay, thank you. I do have a few comments. So I followed up this morning. I talked to Jim Klaus, who's the president or chairman of the Bascom EMS board this morning, and just reached out to him to get his feel as to how the meeting went, kind of my thoughts. It's one of those things where I went home last night, I woke up and there were some things that weren't said that maybe could have, should have been said. So him and I had a direct conversation about that. In summary, and I'll highlight those, but Jim felt the meeting went very well. And from their perspective, they want to continue working with us in the manner that which they're working. We originally got a letter that had a lot of points in the letter that the commissioners disagree with. And, one of the differences is that we talked about the money. I mean, it's been very clear. The county commissioners do not, by law, have a responsibility to fund EMS. But we are putting a lot of money in EMS. And Ken, you can confirm it's been 700,000 plus for the last 10 years. This year we upped the ante. I think Commissioner Kirschner made it very clear that as the commissioners continue to fund, we expect the districts to step up and spend some of their money. For the public's understanding, the 5 separate districts, they are independent, but the county, so what we're trying to do is just bring everybody to the table and just revisit what our role is and what their role is, and then lay out the big vision, which is to provide quality service in 10 minutes or less in the county. So I thought we covered that pretty well. There were a few things in the letter that weren't covered. Bascom had in there that, they wanted to revisit the contract with the commissioners. You could read through the lines. Possibly they wanted to break away and go on their own, take control of their EMS future, all those things, we disagree with, but weren't brought up last night. I think the biggest crux as you get through everything, well, there were 2 things. One, the big discussion on EMRs. I thought Dr. Fitzpatrick and Ken did a great job of fielding questions about EMRs. Jim Klaus reported back that he felt there was a much better understanding in Bascom with the fire and with the EMS in a positive way, Ken, as a result of that conversation. And I want to thank Dr. Fitzpatrick for coming. The second part, which seems to be really what Bascom wants to do, is they're struggling with maintaining volunteers like everybody. And I think Commissioner Kirschner highlighted that, look, we're hiring people And here's all the benefits of you guys leasing our people back. And we strongly encourage that. So that's the county's position. You know, with that said, at this point in time, the county, based on our contract, we're providing the services, they're providing the people. So if they want to hire their own people, we did not object to that, but we are strongly going to enforce the fact that Ken and the medical director review these final hires for background, et cetera. So I think in the end, as I look at it, I just want to make it clear that there was, in my mind, that could have gone, the direction could have gone, the meeting could have gone in a different direction. There were a lot of things in there that, you know, the commissioners were prepared to talk about, and we just frankly disagree with. But I think we focused on what we could do together and continue moving forward. So that's my take of the meeting. And I think at this point, we've opened up some conversation. We've created a much better understanding of how our position and theirs, and we forge ahead. So that's my comment.
So how do you suggest, what action, if any, would we take moving forward regarding their proposal to us?
I would say that, you know, if you include the letter as a proposal, that they and we agree that 80% of this letter is a dead issue. You know, that we're not going to talk about it. And I think moving forward, the proposal is that if they want to hire some people, as Doc Fitz, and we as commissioners let Ken and Doc respond to that. And Doc's basic response was, I don't care who pays them, but we need to know who they are. And in item number 7 in our contract, Ken is responsible for all the people, the disciplinary action, et cetera. So I think the takeaway is we have that understanding, and I'm asking Ken if for some reason they don't follow that, we're made aware of that right away, and we go from there. But I think that's really the takeaway. I don't anticipate opening up the contract or anything like that, Commissioner. I think I think they're happy with that outcome of the meeting.
Okay. Tyler, do you have any comments?
Nothing specific. Attending the meeting last night, I agree with a lot of what Commissioner Paradiso said. It was some healthy discussion, but I also agree that Ken needs to be a part of that hiring process. He needs to review these people, do the background checks. If that has not been happening here in the past, it's something that we need to remedy, which I think they came to the table, agreed with. Ken and the doctor, Fitzpatrick, did a great job last night of explaining some of their concerns. They got some of the things off their chest. I'm sure there'll be more meetings to come, but as long as we keep open communications, I think we'll be fine. Take it one step here at a time, but I trust Ken's judgment, and hopefully they can communicate with us and we can keep improving things.
Yeah, well, I just want to make certain that we put the emphasis on the right syllable. And that is our goal through our mission statement, is that we get to people as quickly as possible and as professionally as possible. So whatever we need to do, this is all about the folks that we represent. You know, this isn't about individual districts as much as it is making certain that people are handled correctly. I asked Ken this morning, we might have been on public, what's the standard of care in the city of Tiffin, city of Astoria? And the hierarchy is a paramedic, an EMT, and an EMR. And in the case of the city of Tiffin and surrounding area, there are always 2 paramedics on the truck when they come to take care of an incident. And, hopefully we can get there, because I don't want somebody in Bettsville or in Oak Fork in less care than somebody that, 5-10 miles down the road. So that's got to be our goal. We need to keep focused on that. Some of the changes that we have to make, aren't going to always be easy to swallow. But they're there to build the foundation so we can come up with a system that works to the benefit of those that are out there that need it. So that's where I would come from.
Just one follow-up comment there, Commissioner. Ken Majors and Doc and I sidebarred after the meeting, and I'll just make this analogy. You know, minimum wage in the state of Ohio is $7 and something. But most people are paying much more than that. Okay. And so we start with, these are the minimum requirements for EMS, an EMR and an EMT. Ken, you can help me if I screw this up. Okay. But Doc Fitzpatrick's basically saying, you know, we're not at minimum wage. You know, we as a county, and he works in the emergency room, and this is what he does. Okay. So we have him as our medical director. We respect him and we support him. And basically what he's saying is our minimum wage factor is higher. You know, we want 2 people in the back and 1 driving, not 1 driving and 1 in the back. Ken, am I making that analogy?
Yes, sir.
Am I accurate with that? So the commissioners, Ken, we all support that. And so the public understands we are, you know, we're going to be there, but we're trying at the same time to hold the line and improve the quality of care. And I think that's what you're referring to, Commissioner. And just because the standards across the country may be at this level, our standards are at this level. And sometimes there's a confusion in between, and what's literal and what we're trying to do. Ken, you want to make any comment before we get off this topic?
Yes, sir. I just have a brief one.
Thank you.
My comment is that the argumentative nature of the meeting last night was disturbing. It should have been a lot more professional than it was. And I apologize to you and anybody that was present that had to deal with that. That is a serious breakdown in the chain of command that people do not pay attention to. That goes to professionalism, which Mike has hit very well. In Seneca County EMS, we live to what I call task, purpose, and standards, because I'm an old Army paratrooper, and that's how I learned. The task at Seneca County EMS is to deliver high-quality ambulance service to all county residents within 10 minutes of the call for help. Our purpose for doing that is to avoid preventable death, ease pain, suffering, and provide professional-level pre-hospital care at the scene, throughout transport, to deliver the patient to the hospital, to a physician at the closest, most appropriate hospital. Our standards to do that is to provide a minimum of basic EMT level, at least 2 of those, on every ambulance that responds and transports patients, with advanced life support coming in the form of an echo paramedic to every run when necessary. These are the guiding principles of Seneca County EMS, and they're secondary to nothing. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Okay. Well said. Okay. Any other comments as it relates to EMS today? Hearing none. The topic that I have to talk about is the COVID money, and Stacy gave me a great segue. I have been considering this and looking at it, and as she so aptly stated, the one obvious political subdivision that has been neglected, for lack of a better word, are the townships. So, as we know, I mean, there's some things we know and some things we don't know. We don't know exactly how we're going to be able to utilize the money and for what purposes. So everything that I say here would be qualified by, if this is allowable under the transfer of money, this is what I would suggest, or what at least I hope that we would talk about. The first thing would be to allocate at a minimum $100,000 to each township to be used at their discretion as permissible under the uses of the money once we finally get that legislation completed. And that could mean, you know, such things as technology updates. It could mean, you know, repairing a culvert that they haven't had the money to repair. It could mean improving the fire area. It could mean improving the ambulance service. It could mean any number of things that that particular township has as their major priority. I believe that it's an equitable way to augment their operating income, that we are being as fair as we can with the money by distributing 100,000 to each township, and not picking any winners or losers from this. All of them certainly can use the money in some capacity. So that would be the first part that I'd want. And I would also want, again, going back to Stacy's point, we have not had a conversation, but this is something that I was putting together after reading volumes of pages regarding this COVID money. This is the latest round, that we ought to put, in my opinion, at least 5% away for employee benefits. And by that, I mean future training. By that, I mean when we do hire a human resource person, that we do a salary survey and we make certain that the people that we have in certain positions are paid fairly as it relates to the private industry and other counties and other political subdivisions. I think that we have some folks in place throughout the county that may be doing a job that gets paid differently in other government settings. So a human resource person would be able to determine exactly what that was. We have virtually every time we lose someone and it's a discussion about salary, we check with other counties, and those other counties, may or may not be paying something significantly higher, or at least somewhat higher. So we all know the cost of training. We all know the cost of bringing new people on. We all know the cost of having turnovers in our offices, and we want to try to avoid that. I think that pot of money should be restricted because these are the folks that are the fundamental workforce for us, and they deserve some recognition, in my opinion, whenever we have a windfall. They're the ones who suffer when things go the wrong way financially, and they ought to have some benefit when things go the right way financially. So my proposal when we do have our meeting, something for everyone to think about, is that a certain percentage of that money should be put away, my opinion, for employee benefits. And I use the word employee benefits as a broad net because I don't know what is going to be allowable under this latest group amount of money that's coming to us. So everything is dependent on what we can do with that money. So those are really my comments today. I know that we have room on the agenda. I will go to the other commissioners for their reports at this point. Tyler, you have some things to report on?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, President Kirshner. And I agree with a lot of what you said as far as giving back to the townships, that minimum number that you would hit, 5% employee benefits or package. I can also get on board with that depending on discussions, but looking forward to having those conversations. Hope everybody had a good and safe St. Paddy's Day. While everybody was doing that yesterday, the commissioners and I were at the EMS meeting, which we previously reported on out there in Bascom. Had some good conversations, and I think we came to some understandings on both sides. Also yesterday, we had the Farm Bureau meeting, which we had some good conversations in that as well. It's my second year attending that, but I really enjoy those because when I go there, I don't just learn one or two new things. It's more of a dozen, but a good group of people out there, and it was nice to have those healthy conversations and see what some of the concerns are of the agricultural community. Was over in Fostoria again here this week, met with some of their business owners, industry people over there. Also, as I kind of hinted around about last week, I've been over there quite a bit here, but on April 5th, we'll be announcing the business contest. So I've been working really close with Sarah and Renee, kind of gave them my playbook of what we did here in Tiffin a few years ago, trying to bring that over there, drum up some new business, some economic development, get the downtown going over there. So they've been great to work with. I'm just very impressed with all the projects and things that they have going on over there. They run very lean. They get a lot of good things done, but they've been a real pleasure to work with. This morning we had the FEDC meeting, got a kind of annual report of what's going on in the Fostoria area, projects to come, what they've accomplished the past year. Had a lot of people in attendance for that, so I think that was all very productive stuff. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they continue to do. Last week I had met with Micah Hyde's mom. I had met with Derek Kidwell, Also been talking to Fostoria Mayor, Tiffin Little League football. So one thing that I made as a goal of mine when I first started here as commissioner, I'd like to get a Little League football team, if not two, over in that end of the county. A lot of those kids don't learn their basic skills till junior high, high school. So I think if we can get a Little League football team going over there, they're going to join up with Tiffin, maybe start a county-wide league, get one in the east end of the county, but something to keep the kids busy, teach them discipline, teamwork, those sort of qualities. We've had some professional athletes come out of Fostoria. They've got some state titles. It's a very proud town. Had some really good talent out of there. So one thing I've been working on kind of as a side thing is we're going to get Little League football going over in Fostoria, whether it be this year or next. But had some really positive conversations. We're going after some grant monies through the NFL, which I feel very confident that we'll be able to secure. But I think it'd be a good thing for the city of Fostoria and the people in that end of the county to have something like that, get the youth involved and get them going. Been working with some of the scout leaders here in the county. We got some projects that we're talking about with some of their Eagle Scouts. Bounced a few ideas off those people here to kind of collaborate with the county. More details to come on that. We're still in the sorry, cough there. We're still investigating a few different projects that we can work on together with the scouts in the county. Bloomville, we've got an expansion happening out there with a local business and a few other things to report on, but that'll be coming down the road. That's about really all I've got right now. So it was a productive week, but we'll keep plugging away. And after Commissioner Paradiso's report, I have a proclamation, but I'm going to hand it over to Tony.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shaw.
Okay, thank you. I attended the FEDC meeting this morning, and Lieutenant Governor Husted was on there, and he made a statement that I just want to repeat, and I'm going to paraphrase. Basically, he was insinuating that the economy is stalled out, and he doesn't really expect the economy to take off till sometime in June or after June when all this stimulus money runs out, because, and he basically said people are getting $300 a week additional not to work. And he said, I would have liked to see us pay everyone $300 a week to go back to work. And man, that really stuck with me, because all these businesses, these employers are looking for people, and that's all that's holding us back is people. There are all kinds of training programs out there. The pay ranges are way above the minimum. We referred to that earlier. And, unfortunately, we're going to just have to wait this out. But he assured FEDC, and I see David Zach on there, that, Ohio's committed and ready to help all the employers and anyone looking for a job. There are 150,000 jobs posted on the Ohio site right now. There's plenty of money to retrain people. So I just want to bring that up. I thought that was interesting. The second thing I want to bring up is I want to commend Commissioner Kirschner for bringing up the 100,000 to the townships. My quick math is around $17.5 million on this $1.9 trillion stimulus package will come into the county. Tiffin's going to get 3.45, Fostoria 2.59, the county we just talked about 10.7. The villages are all going to receive money. And there's some nice chunks of money going to the villages, but the counties are left out.
Townships are left out.
I'm sorry, thank you, Mike.
That's right, yeah.
Are left out, and I think you're bringing this up today is appropriate, because I want to talk about an EMS issue, and what you brought up, I think, is very timely. But if it's okay, I'd like to ask Mike Ditto to give us an update as to, will we be able to do this? And can the township spend money on things such as Mike suggested? Just want to get a feel from you, hot off the press.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thanks, Commissioner. And I agree with what was said earlier by Commissioner Kirschner and by Stacy that the U.S. Treasury guidance is still pending. The first bucket of money is expected within the first 60 days under the law. So that guidance should be happening, and we should get that anytime, certainly before you get any funds deposited into your account. We've talked to the Township Association about whether or not they are indeed included. There's still a conflict there and some uncertainty. We've also talked to CCAO several times, and they do think, and this is, I put a heavy emphasis on the word think, that you may be able to use it for the types of projects that you are talking about. However, they will caution any county in the state of Ohio against doing anything until the money is, of course, received, obviously, but also until that firm guidance from U.S. Treasury is made public. So we will monitor that very closely, and we'll get you that guidance as soon as it becomes available. But I think that a lot of counties are looking at projects like the ones that you are all suggesting and talking about, and we should have some firm guidance very soon.
Okay, thank you. So I just want to bring up an EMS topic. So Pleasant Township, Adams Township, and the village of Green Springs are not part of the county EMS system. They are on a paid system. Full disclosure, I live in Pleasant Township. And the citizens in those three areas voted in a 2.5 mil EMS levy to fund basically a 24/7 paid system with North Central housed in the village of Green Springs. That is a 5-year contract that expires on June 30th. The representatives from Pleasant, Adams, and Green Springs approached me back in September, maybe a little before that, but we started to get serious around September when they knew that this contract was going to be non-renewed. Because of the funding, like the rest of our districts that are paying 1.5 mils, and they are accumulating money because they're not spending money on volunteers because they don't have them. Thus, you see large carryovers in the EMS districts throughout the county. These three entities don't have a carryover. So they priced the levy to create the 275. The money goes in and out and they have service. So now North Central is willing to extend the contract for 3 years, thus not pulling out, but it's at a cost. And I was part of several discussions with North Central, and the cost will be $80,000 the first year, $90,000 the second year, and $100,000 additional in the third year. So basically, that part of the county can keep full paid EMS for 3 more years if they come up with 80, 90, 100,000. Obviously, that money, at least right now, can't happen by a levy because there's not enough time to get that put together. Taking it a step further, we as a county, this is on the top of our mind, trying to shore up the county. I heard last night that Jeff Wagner made a statement. Ken, help me on this one. He asked the question, how many fire departments does the county own? Answer, none. Okay, how many EMS is the county part of EMS? And the answer is clearly yes. You know, we're in the EMS business. I like what we're doing with AVR, Bloom Scipio, the volunteers, the concept of using paid. They Pleasant, Adams, and Green Springs want to come in to our EMS system when we're ready to put a squad to that northern part of the county. That's in our plan. It's not today, but it's most probably going to happen in the next 3 years. So the beauty would be is if they can hold this together, they'll just come right in, bring their revenue, their tax base, everything right with them. The problem is the gap in between. So the entities themselves, the townships and the village, have met. I've had some discussions with them. They basically are asking the commissioners if we would fund half of that difference. In return, they'll come in with, and there's a 180-day notice in the contract that they would come in whenever we're ready to bring them in. One might ask, why would we pay money there and nowhere else? I mean, that's a good question. My reasoning, this is my reasoning, is there are 6 villages in the county, and 5 of those villages, as we are on this call, have a EMS vehicle housed in their village. And they've been housed in their village for 5 years. Okay, the last 5 years. That's going to change, but the county hasn't spent any money over there for 5 years. If we would have stayed there, it would have just added more stress. And if they don't renew and this blows up, it's going to add more stress to Republic, Bloomville, the Echo unit, really the whole county. So I like your proposal, Commissioner Kirschner, where if we were to distribute a minimum of 100,000 to all the townships, I would hope that Pleasant and Adams would take that 100 and use it to pay the other half of the extension. That said, if this goes into the past year 2 or into year 3, that won't be enough money, and I would certainly entertain or bring back to the board this discussion if in fact more money is needed. That said, my only concern would be is if they're not able to use the money for EMS, which we all hope and don't think is going to be the case, but if it's very, very restricted, then I'd like to maybe have a deeper discussion. The issue at hand is that North Central needs to know yesterday if they're going to move forward with the 3-year extension. And I would like, as a commissioner, to ask you 2 commissioners to lend some support in getting this done. They have a tax levy for 2.5, which is higher than all the other townships that aren't involved with the city of Tiffin or Fostoria. They're willing, as their entities, they're going to dig and find half the money to do this, to buy time. They clearly want to come in, be part of the bigger picture, which may include more tax money, may not, but they like the paid system. They want to come in. So I would like to assure them that we would help hold that together till we can bring them in. So with that, I'll pause and see if you have any comments or questions.
Ken has his hand up.
Yeah, Ken, you'd like to add something? Go ahead.
I guess my question is, we're going to subsidize a private business in Huron County with county money when the entities that need the money have carryover in their general funds. Is that correct?
The entities that are requesting have money. Yes, the township, the village, I'm not speaking for the village, but the townships themselves have some money, much of that's restricted, and they want to pay half, they'll pay half. They're asking us to pay the other half. And yes, I'm proposing that we subsidize that for the ground, call it background, whatever you want to call it. We've been out of there. We haven't paid anything. They're going to come in. They're asking us for help to make this bridge. It's no different than us hiring people and leasing them out to Bascom or somebody else at a discount. This is an example of that. And I might add, and that's a good question, Ken. If we were to spend any of our money, I mean, there would be some conditions implied by the county with Pleasant Adams and Green Springs. One would be they would join the EMS system, which means you would be in charge. They would be part of the county system, right? Number two, we're going to move the station out of Green Springs. We're not going to put it there. We're going to strategically place an independent station to the north. And then they would come into all of that. It would be 180-day notice. They would be in. To me, compared to all the other little fires we have around the county, this is a tremendous way to get that done. And it would also allow us to serve Thompson Township if and when they're ready to come in by having that station over there. And I think that, and I know that's in our plan, to put one east, one west, and one to the north. And we're maximum talking 40, 45, and 50. If we give them 100 and they can spend the 100, that takes care of 2 years. And if we do this before 2 years, it doesn't cost us anything. If we do this after 2 years, then it would cost us some money. But I think it also sends a positive message to
But
everybody.
I think they also have carryover in their levy fund that we're not asking them to spend. We're going to subsidize a private business in another county. I suggest that we spend our money here, invest in ourselves, and build a system that is sustainable and long-term viable. That's my suggestion. Thank you for answering my question, Mr. Commissioner.
Yep, and I think we have a risk of them, of that blowing up, pulling out. And then I ask you, Ken, if there's a call in Pleasant, okay, where I live, and there's no coverage, and I'm paying $2.5 million for my taxes, who's going to come to my house? The Echo unit?
Well, okay, Commissioner Purdy, so using your logic,
Yeah,
Clinton Township, we don't pay anything for EMS service in Clinton Township, the county.
right.
Okay, so does that mean that we ought to subsidize them for their cost to the city of Tiffin?
Clinton's happy. Their contract's not being oh wait, let me answer it. Their contract's not being canceled, and they're not asking to come in. So no,
That's not my point. My point is that if we pick and choose which townships we're going to subsidize because they are not currently using our system, then should we not also consider part of Eden and all of Clinton? I mean, using your logic, it hasn't cost us any money, so why wouldn't we give them some money?
well, we're not on the same page there. We have a master plan. We're very clear in the fact that in the county, we want to consolidate the districts. There are all kinds of arrangements out there. The less consolidated we are, the higher cost it's going to be for all those that stay in, period.
I just think that we're,
So
at this point,
they want to come in and be part of us as fast as we can bring them in. And I'm suggesting that we show some support, and if needed, we help them.
yeah, I'm trying to show some support by dispersing some of this new COVID money so that they'll be able to use it. And I pray that
that's great.
I pray that they'll be able to use it for that. But I do think that we're opening up a large can of worms if we start picking, as we talked about, not wanting to do winners and losers. And by that, I mean, what about other townships that use certain of our services that and some that don't? I mean, because they decide to use our services, we're going to fund it. But if they don't use our services, logic would say by virtue of this argument that we ought to then send them some money because they haven't cost us any money in the last few years.
So so what you're saying is if they would have stayed volunteered as Attica is, for example, we would continue to dump money in there and help them out of the general fund.
I don't know what we would have done at that point because
That's what we're doing now.
that was a long-term discussion, and we tried to lobby for them to stay in our system at that point 3 years ago. You know, I think those guys are doing what they need to do. They raised the tax money. They're doing a bang-up job. I have every bit of respect, but they made a decision to break away. Okay, I respect that decision, just as I would respect it if any other districts decided to do the same. But they have to live with the consequences of their decisions. And I am trying to assist them. Now, you said that the money would run out, but it wouldn't, because we're talking about 100,000 to Pleasant, 100,000 to Adams, and frankly, some of the money that Green Springs gets could, if it's permissible, be used to supplement their ambulance services. I got to believe, and I haven't talked to any of the trustees or to Adam, but I got to believe that this would be viewed as relatively equitable, relatively fair, so that all the townships receive the same amount of money to be used for what they think their pressing needs are.
Yeah, so Commissioner, I don't disagree with you on that. I think I love the idea of taking some of our money, allocating it out to the townships, and let each township, based on their need, this is a windfall of money for them, use it as they feel they need to use it. Okay. And this is a perfect scenario for them. Okay. So you and I are on the same page with all that up to this point. Beyond that, if for some reason that that money's restricted, or there's no way they can use it for EMS, and they also have a 180-day clause out to get out. I mean, they probably have enough money to renew it for a year and keep going. I would like to, I'm just throwing this out there right now for discussion, throw our support to them. Now, just because they left, we didn't put any money in them. Now they want to come back. We're trying to help. I'm proposing we help them on this transition until they come in. We're doing the same thing with every other district that's out there. They all have money in the bank. They're not using it. We're saying, hey man, you got to play ball, step up, spend your tax money, but we're here to help you if you need it, but it takes two. Well, I think, by them bringing 2.5 mils in, there's no baggage over there. They're paying half. We're going to give them this 100. They can keep going. But if for some reason that goes bad, I want to lay that out for discussion. I think that's all we're doing right now. But I'd like everybody to think a little further on the benefits of doing it.
Okay, we're hitting the reverse button. Stacy has suggested that we ought to have a work session talking about the COVID money. Hopefully, by the time we get that scheduled, we'll have more guidance. And it may be a new point at that time. I pray that it is.
And I'll throw out there right now, maybe we take some of the money and put it towards EMS, maybe a building or two somewhere.
Yeah, well, that's obviously all part of the discussion. Yeah, that's for sure.
I have no more to say.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Okay. Stacy, does Kylie happen to be there today?
She's up front. I don't know. I wonder if
she's got a little public service announcement regarding gift boxes. The young leaders, that's their project. I thought we'd give her an opportunity to do a little PSA about that, because I know that they're looking to help, get some help.
See if I can get her.
All right.
And Mike, after Kylie gets on, I'd like to do that proclamation. I should have done this right out the gate, but that's
No, that's good. Well, we've got this a very short, I hope, room of discussion too in old business. So you'll have an opportunity. And we want you to get that proclamation out there for sure.
I see Brody's on there. Brody, thanks for your patience.
As a matter
Yeah,
of
of
fact,
course.
why don't you do the resolution now while we're waiting? That's fine.
It's awesome.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, first off, I'll read the proclamation in a second. Brody, just want to say how proud we are of you. You represent the county and Tiffin very well. I worked with your father, as you know, but watching you grow up, and I remember you coming into the dealership when you were younger. Just it's been fun to watch you grow and what you're doing and what you're accomplishing. And I think the future is just going to get brighter for you. So thanks for all that you do. Have a proclamation I'd like to read here. Whereas Brody Connelly, a junior from Tiffin Columbian High School, began his wrestling career at the age of 4, Mr. Connelly has dedicated thousands of hours perfecting his craft and technique on the wrestling mat. And whereas Brody has had many coaching mentors, including Travis Saylor, Eric Gibson, Chad Long, Eric Burnett, and Tiffin University's Joey Simcoe, and the most important, his father, as assistant coach for Columbian Wrestling, Sean Connelly. Brody is a 3-time state qualifier on the mat, placing 4th in Division II as a freshman, was projected state champion before last season's canceled tournament, and is a committed member of the class of 2022 to wrestle for Cornell Big Red. And whereas Mr. Connelly perfected a record of 48-0 during a regular season, captured championships in the Sandusky Bay Conference, districts, and sectionals, as well as earning 45 pins, securing his 100th career win and etching his name in the state wrestling record books, where he is currently second all-time in consecutive pins. And whereas Brody shows accomplishments on and off the mat, selling in the classroom with a 3.819 GPA, while also being enrolled in honors and advanced placement courses, Mr. Connelly was recently introduced into the Tiffin Columbian chapter of the National Honor Society, as well as a 2-time captain of the football team and 3rd team All-Ohio Award winner at linebacker this past season. And whereas this past weekend, Brody's hard work, dedication, enthusiasm to the sport of wrestling culminated in the capturing of the Ohio State's Athletic Association's Division II Wrestling Championship in the 170-pound weight class, defeating previously unbeaten Dylan Newsom of Bishop Hartley by a 7-4 decision. Mr. Connelly is held in universally high regard by his teachers, coaches, and peers for his tireless work ethic, kind and friendly nature, and as a great example of the incredible youth who call Seneca County home. And therefore, it be resolved that this Board of Commissioners, Seneca County, Ohio, be and it does hereby recognize Brody Connelly for winning Tiffin Columbian's 2nd state wrestling championship. In witness whereof we, the Board of Seneca County Commissioners, have hereunto set our hands in this proclamation this 18th of March in the year of our Lord 2021, Commissioners Mike Kirshner, Tony Paradiso, and Tyler Shaw.
That's wonderful. Yeah, congratulations, Brody. Congratulations.
Brody with us?
He's on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got anything to say, Brody?
There you
I just appreciate all your guys' support, whole community support, and just can't wait for next year and everything to come.
Hey, we're all very proud of you, Brody. Thank you very much for representing us so well.
Yes. Hey, Brody, have you met Congressman Jordan yet?
No, I haven't. Not yet.
Okay. You're very well, I'm assuming you're very well aware of his wrestling resume, right?
Oh yeah,
Tony,
for sure. Yeah.
Tony, Brody,
He's coming in in a few weeks. That's where you're going, Mike,
yeah,
right?
I was going the 24th, which is next Wednesday, I think.
So Jimmy
Does that make
Flint,
sense?
or Jimmy, could you see if it's possible to arrange for Brody to meet the congressman?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, maybe Wednesday after school or something. I don't know, Brody. We can connect after the meeting.
Okay.
Brody,
Yeah, that sounds great.
Brody, we'll try to make it a time when you have to skip the class.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I promise you, Brody, he will be as excited to meet you as you are to meet him.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
So congratulations and wish you the best going forward. Hopefully we can have you on next
Thank you
year.
so much.
Hey, Brody,
Thank you
this is
so
down
much.
here this is down here waiting for you. We'll send it to you, but the proclamation's here. We'll either send it to you or you can come get it. I think the exciting part is too, I mean, you're a junior this year. You still got your senior year next year. So I'm hoping we're having the same conversation 1 year from now.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, Brody, if you can just send me a message with your address, I can get that mailed out to you.
Okay. I will. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brody. Okay, we get Kylie on the line yet?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Why don't you tell us about your Blessing Box program? This is the young professionals. Go ahead.
Leadership.
It is actually for Leadership Seneca County. I'll just kind of review the briefing that we have on what is currently what our current project is and what we're working on. We would like to take the time to let you know that the Leadership Seneca County class of 2020-2021 has decided to participate in a class project this year by constructing 11 blessing boxes to be distributed throughout Seneca County. We have contacted many establishments in the towns in the surrounding Seneca County area with plans to construct and distribute 1 blessing box per area. The blessing box is an effort of neighbors helping neighbors by making non-perishable food and other items available to their neighbors in need. There are no stated guidelines. Of course, there's no alcohol or tobacco allowed on county properties, so we ask that these items are not put in the boxes, and we are also asking that items be new and in sealed packages. The blessing box is a no obligation zone. Take what you need, leave what you can. Some of the items most commonly donated and used to stock the blessing boxes are canned food with ring pulls, socks, mittens, and hand warmers, crackers, any non-perishable food, toilet paper, baby wipes, bottled water, and small snacks, toiletries, including hand soap, toothbrushes, and toothpaste. We have established marketing, construction, and location committees within our class, and we have been working on the project for a few months now. Our class runs through the May of 2021, so we would like the boxes to be completed and installed by mid-May. At this time, we have reached out to some places to request donations to help us finish the boxes. Each box we have decided will cost us about $100. And we have 11 boxes that right now that have committed to wanting one in the town. I think there is one going to be placed in every town in Seneca County. Except for, I think Green Springs already currently has one by a citizen there. So they said that they have an overflow monthly. So they said they don't think there's a need for one at this time. So like I said, $100 covers a whole box. And so if anyone is interested in helping with that, we are accepting donations and the checks can be made out to Leadership Seneca County.
Thanks, Kylie. Let me get it out to the public here.
Thank you, Mike.
Yep. Okay. Any other new business, commissioners? Moving on to old business. There has been conversation amongst the commissioners and amongst a lot of folks regarding our road use management agreement and whether or not it's in effect. We actually have an opinion from our prosecutor that the 2016 agreement is valid, but we have some question as to its validity because others have said they question whether it is or is not in effect, not the least of which is our county engineer, Mark Zimmerman. So to kind of reduce to writing our thoughts as it relates to the September 2016 ROMA, we, Nikki, can you put that up on the screen?
Let me see if Stacy can. I'm in your office, so
Oh, okay.
hang
All
on
right.
1 second.
I can get it, but I really don't want to bore people with it reading it. And again, I'm not going to read this, but the fact is there was a rumor passed by the commissioners on September 15th, I think, 2016. And we are resolving that the Commission of Seneca County rescind the board's orders of October 18th and making a document canceled, voided, annulled, and repealed effective September 15th, 2016. Legally, I am not certain whether this will hold water, but I think it's a statement that we're trying to make to say that we don't believe that we have an agreement with any company as it relates to the RUMA across the county, and that this RUMA is invalid. So I would move that this resolution be passed.
I'll second that with a comment.
All right, go ahead. Discussion.
Since I took office August 7th of 19, the discussion I've been involved with over the last year plus has been implied that we don't have a RUMA, and that I've had a lot of discussions as to what a RUMA would look like, and I've made a lot of efforts to get the county to a point where we could have a unified RUMA that one I would agree to, and many others in the county would agree to. And I think there's been a lot of dialogue with various entities and people to that effect. I'm hopeful we can get to a signed RUMA, but I would agree that as far as I'm concerned, we've been operating ever since I've been here that we haven't had a RUMA, and so I'll make the second, and
I'm just thinking that we're reducing the writing, really our sense of where we're at, and I think that's where we're at.
That's good.
Any other discussion? Nikki, roll call, please.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Yes.
Commissioner Kirschner.
Yes. Okay, Stacy, on to new business.
I have just one thing of old business that I need. We had talked about probably a couple weeks ago about the museum and the initial grant that we had received for $7,926. And we were going to, the foundation had agreed, the trust had agreed to give that to the foundation. So since we don't necessarily have a contract, I'd like to do a resolution authorizing payment to the Barnes Deinzer Foundation for that grant we received, and also the additional $13,840.27 that was in the account that was carried over to allow the Barnes Deinzer to use for operations of the museum. And so the total would be, and what we have in place for that would be $21,766.27. And it was suggested that I either do a contract or just a resolution, and I think a resolution would be fine. And so that would be.
Is that a separate one or part of all the consent agenda?
I didn't have that on the agenda that I'd like it to be. If you want to vote on it with the rest of them, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can kind of go, the segue then is to go ahead and do the rest of the new business. We'll include that resolution in the new business. And when we vote, if somebody wants to carve it out, they can.
Okay, let me
So
bring up my screen. Okay. I have a supplemental appropriation request from the auditor's office. I think I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. She had reached out. I think I have the letter that she had sent. She's requesting the supplemental appropriation to be made to the travel and expense line for both the general fund and real estate assessment fund As you know, 2021 budget did not include any funding for those account lines. I have received word from several associations that they will be holding in-person meetings beginning the end of this month, as well as in-person conferences this summer and late fall. I am a board member, so I can confirm this. I'm requesting a supplemental appropriation for the following in her general fund, 4,000, and her real estate assessment fund for 6,000. And she said that please note that the general fund supplemental appropriation is the same amount as budgeted for 2020. So she's asking for her initial 2020 request for travel for both of her funds. And
Yep.
go to the next one. I have a request from the sheriff's office for $6,750 into their equipment line. This is in their concealed carry fund, and it's to buy or an update to the web check system, computer and software. He has the money in that fund to purchase that. Needed some upgrades. As you know, he's looking to expand that program and get the department open more hours than what typically it was, so that people could stay local and get their conceal carry permits. My next request, this is the contract we passed last week. This is for the airport for the $142,125 into the contract service line for the drainage improvement engineering fees. And then I have a supplemental appropriation. This is into our professional service fund, Maximus, that does our cost allocation plan every year. Their contract is up, and they've asked for, they haven't increased our contract in probably 10 years, and they are asking to increase it by 1,275. So I think we were paying 80, it's going up to 10,000. And I think, okay, yeah, we got one more. I have a supplemental appropriation at the request of the sheriff's office. He's wanting to put $1,401.25 into his training line. And this has been specifically donated to the sheriff's office by 3 individuals to help support the initial training that he did when he came into office out to the NCOASC. So he had some businesses and some private entities that wanted to help and donated this money. So it's just honoring that request. And
Can I just pause for 1 second and ask a question?
Yeah.
In the case of travel money, do we anticipate that other electeds will be requesting similar amounts as time goes on throughout the year?
Probably.
Have you had any?
I haven't had anybody say so far, so I'm guessing maybe it's just the Auditors Association that's starting this. I haven't had any other requests yet, but if one is starting it, I assume others will follow. I'm not sure if you want to give the full amount that would have been budgeted for the full year, since it is the end of March. But
I just didn't know whether or not we ought to have a conversation about reinstating the travel expense line for the electeds and department heads.
Okay, instead of waiting for the requests to come in, just.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's not the way to handle it, but if it's something that's on the horizon, well, we can talk about. We don't need to do it this week. It's just it begs the question as to whether or not these are going to come in frequently.
Yep, I think I shared either last week or the week before. I think the average of travel just for the general fund has been about 40,000. So if all the general fund requests, or if we reinstate those, it's about 40,000 when I pulled the reports for the last few years.
Yeah, but you're right. I think that 75% is a better number. We're already done with the first quarter, right? So why would we put an entire year's worth of travel and entertainment in the year? But anyway.
Okay. Okay, and let me see if I can share the other screens. Screen 2. You up there. So I have a resolution authorizing the ODOT road salt contract 2021 on behalf of the Seneca County engineer. I have a resolution setting time, date, and place to receive sealed bids for the County Road 48 pavement resurfacing. This will be set at April 1st at 10:15 a.m. here at the Seneca County Commissioner's Office. I have a resolution authorizing the approval for the subordination, I always have trouble pronouncing that one, of mortgage for Charles Perry's loan with the Seneca County Commissioners for work done through the Community Housing Improvement Program FY 2019, and authorizing the President of the Board of Commissioners to sign all required documentation. I have a resolution setting time, date, and place to receive sealed bids for 1 7-passenger minivan and 1 rear entry wheelchair ramp minivan conversion for the Seneca County Opportunity Center. These will be scheduled for April 22nd, 2021 at 10:15 a.m. here at the Commissioner's Office. I have a resolution authorizing the 4D services contract between the Seneca County Common Pleas Court 1, Common Pleas Court 2, Juvenile Clerk, Juvenile Magistrate, Clerk of Courts, and Seneca County on behalf of the Seneca County Department of Job and Family Services. I have a resolution accepting the resignation of William Anderson as full-time paramedic for the Seneca County EMS Paramedic Response Unit effective March 11th, 2021. He had sent us that and dropped it off on Monday. And then I have a resolution hiring Becky Mccann as a full-time advanced emergency medical technician for the Seneca County EMS effective March 25th, 2021. And let me make sure that's all of them that I had.
Stace, I think that one for Becky is supposed to be for the 18th, right?
Yes, today. Sorry.
I have-
Yes, it would be the 18th.
I have the correct one on my desk, so.
Okay.
Yep,
All right.
that's correct.
It'll be next week.
Thank you. Yes, it'll be for the 18th. And then just the one adding a resolution authorizing payment to the Barnsteinzer Foundation for the grant and the operational expenses for $21,766.27.
Okay, gentlemen, what's your pleasure?
Tony, you're muted.
I'll make a motion. Thank you, Tyler. I'll make a motion that we accept supplemental appropriations as presented by Ms. Wilson.
Okay,
Like the second Commissioner Paradiso's motion.
very good. Any additional discussion? Hearing none. Ricky,
Do you want me to reduce that to 75% for travel or just let that go for?
I would say let it go, but the suggestion ought to be on the return responses. We hope that it's for the rest of the year, amortized for the rest of the year as opposed to the full amount. That's our will. If something changes, let us know.
Does that accomplish what you want to hear, or do you?
I think that's okay. I mean, we'll
Okay.
give them some discretion. Sure.
Okay, I'm good with it.
Okay, Nicole.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Yes.
and Commissioner Kirschner.
Yes. Okay.
Did you vote on the rescinding? Did you actually vote on that?
Yes.
Did we not?
Did
Did
they?
we?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I need a bookmark, but I think we did. Yeah. Okay. So Audrey, we might as well just call on you. If you're- Maybe she's not on today.
Oh, there she is.
Okay. Audrey, you've changed.
Can't hear you.
There she is. David Zach never changes. His photo, his pose is always the same.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
there
should
he
see
is. Changed.
I have a face for radio, Tony, as you should
Yeah.
appreciate. You're a radio
That's
guy.
good.
Why should Tony appreciate that, David? What are you trying to say?
He owned a radio station.
Oh,
That's
oh, I
what I'm
see.
saying.
Okay, yeah,
I
I
tried to
got
head that one off at the pass.
Yeah, that was a good one. We old radio guys, we got it.
I think Audrey might have been having technical difficulties. She's going to hop out and come back in.
Okay. Anyone else out there, Jimmy? Make the typical announcement.
Sure. Yeah, I don't see anyone right now in the chat, but if you are interested in coming forward, you can hit the unmute button or you can hit *6 on your phone line if you're calling in.
Audrey,
I can do a little bragging about Becky McCann if you guys like.
Sure.
Becky is our very first full-time advanced EMT to be hired under the new plan that we have developed and are moving forward with. And Becky is going to be a welcome addition, and she's excited to hit the ground running, and she's ready to go. Becky has a lot of experience in EMS and also in nursing. She's an excellent clinician, and there is none better. She has absolutely impressed me and Dr. Fitzpatrick with her ability to take care of people in all situations. And I'm looking forward to getting her out there and working. And we just made the decision this morning to hire another person. We'll get them before you next week.
Good.
So we will have a full crew ready to be deployed in the Republic area very soon. Within the next, I'd say 3 to 4 weeks. We got to do some orientation and training, but we're really excited about it, and we appreciate your support getting us moving. As EMS has a bright future here, and we are just now building it.
How's your echo unit? We got that fully staffed with
We do,
one
sir.
up?
We
Okay,
do.
good.
We hired Mary Zimmerman. Mary Zimmerman was a longtime firefighter paramedic for the city of Tiffin, retired. She joined our staff here very recently. She has 30 plus years in the business as a paramedic. She currently is working out a notice. She worked in the hospital in the emergency department as well as being a paramedic. She's highly qualified, one of the best I've ever worked with, and I'm looking forward to getting her out there, but she is currently running our C shift, which is our paramedic 24-hour shift, and she's a welcome addition as well. I plan to get her to meet you guys as soon as we can, as soon as we're able to do that face-to-face, to shake hands and all that. And we're buying uniforms and getting people outfitted, and we're like a duck on water. We look pretty good on top, but the Noah is going like crazy.
So the idea is that every time you hire somebody, you improve the quality of your staff, right?
Absolutely, sir, and we appreciate your assistance in doing that.
Do that.
Yeah, it sounds like the quality bar is, you've met that or exceeded it with these hires.
Yes, sir. We're definitely
Nice job.
hiring rock stars, and they're going to be the plank owners of a new system moving forward. And we're still going to be relying very heavily on our volunteers that are very professional and doing their absolute best to keep the stations manned. And they've always done that, and they will continue to do it. And we are going to help them and make us better than we've ever been. And we really appreciate it.
Good. Okay, we got Audrey yet?
Go, Audrey.
Yo, Adrian.
You're muted, Audrey.
We need that governor's lady with the hand signs. We could get
Yes, we do.
It's
Yeah.
weird. It's not even letting me unmute her. So I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
Audrey, try to. No. I don't know.
we know that Audrey has great things to say, and we're just going to anticipate them for next week. That's all there is to it.
I will cover Audrey's report because we will fill in. So because she was thinking she might, so we tag team. So what Audrey, if she comes back, she can pick it up for me. You know, she wanted to remind everybody that we have a new business in the downtown. This is from Amy, so pretty excited about that. That is Soul, I'm trying to think of it, Soul Boutique. So that's pretty exciting. That's going to be opening this spring. Check our website for more information on that. Downtown St. Paddy's Day 5K is going to be this Saturday at 10 a.m. You can register. We will have social distancing and masks. We have a plan approved by Beth. Everything's going to be good. People have been picking up their shirts in advance, so we can minimize that. We have a virtual option and an in-person option. So we're looking forward to that. We have about 200 people registered right now, and we expect the live numbers to be bigger than that. Number 3, we continue to assist with CARES closeout reporting and helping businesses as they need help, and closing out everything's going to be very, very, I think, busy through the next 3 weeks or so, 3-4 weeks to get all of that wrapped up. Lots going on, and I think one thing that's super exciting that I'll kind of leave with is that, you know, we've had some great conversations with Highbridge with Mike. We've had some great conversations with the universities. We've had some great conversations in terms of we're about ready to finalize our list to give to the commission on projects that came through kind of community development process. So we think we have some buckets for money. And as you may know, there are other buckets being formulated. So I'm excited about all the work that's been going on behind the scenes for months. And I think we're going to be able to take advantage of different sources of money, including but not limited to you know, potentially some of the CARES funds as well. So excited about that.
So
Thank
maybe,
you.
maybe the 3 commissioners can put a team together for the 5K because it's offered virtual.
There you go.
What do you think,
Yeah.
Commissioner?
I'll meet you.
Basically, we get our coffee or whatever beverage and we watch it.
Hey, if you sign up and support the downtown with the $30, I'm all about it. You
What do you
can,
think, Commissioner Schaaf?
or if you want to drink Irish coffee, we're all good with that too.
Okay.
I wasn't sure what your price was, but I guess it's $30.
See, gotta get it in, yeah. Yep. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
That's all I have. Any questions for us or anybody else on the team that I can pass along?
Thank you, David.
Thank you, commissioners. Appreciate it.
Okay, nothing else in there, Jimmy? I will call this meeting adjourned at 12:31 p.m. Thank you all for participating, and God bless.